Hey everybody, Sean from Media Assault here, and today I wanted to do a review for you. And as you're probably, if you're a movie fan, you're already aware of the fact that Jaws came out on Blu-ray this week, actually on Tuesday, and a lot of people have been doing unboxings of the Digibook from Best Buy and this particular version. And I'm not going to review Jaws because I'll just tell you straight out that it's one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And it's just almost, I don't want to say it's a perfect movie, but I've grown up with this movie. I've seen this movie almost more than any other movie. I think I've seen Star Wars more than Jaws, but Jaws is definitely up there in terms of movies that I watch at least once a year. And usually I'll watch it on the 4th of July. Last year I did a Jaws marathon where I watched all 4 Jaws movies, and just a great film. But what I was excited about when I heard that Jaws was coming out on Blu-ray was the fact that as a special feature there was going to be this documentary called The Shark is Still Working, and I have been waiting for that to come out on DVD by itself for the last 5 years. Ever since I heard about the production of this documentary, I was interested in seeing it because I'm just a complete Jaws freak, and I wanted to see it because it was going to feature interviews with Peter Benchley, Steven Spielberg, Richard Dreyfuss, Roy Scheider, and just all of these people involved with the film. And it was going to document not only the making of the film, but the impact the film had on Hollywood and just the media and the public in general. And I would keep hearing about showings of this film, screenings of it, but it never seemed to come around to my area, and it never seemed like it was ever going to come out on home video. And there was all these licensing problems supposedly, and this was basically made by fans of Jaws as a tribute to Jaws. It was directed by Eric Hollander, and it was written by a man named James Gillett, or Gillette. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But this being sort of a fan-made, at least not fan-made as, you know, a bunch of people got together and threw something together, but something as an homage to Jaws as much as it was to educate you about Jaws. It just made me want to see it even more. The more I heard about it, the more I wanted to see it. And it just seemed like I was never going to get a chance. So when I heard it was going to be included as a special feature on the Blu-ray, I was just ecstatic. I was already going to buy the Blu-ray, but now I had 2 reasons, if not more, to buy the Blu-ray on day one. So finally tonight I got a chance to watch the documentary. I was instantly disappointed by the fact that it is not anamorphic, so it doesn't take up the full TV screen on a 16:9 widescreen TV. But that's pretty much where my criticism stops. It's a really engrossing hour and 43 minutes of just information about the movie, interviews with the cast and crew. Of course, you've got interviews with Steven Spielberg and Roy Scheider and Richard Dreyfuss, but you've also got John Williams, Peter Benchley, Richard Zanuck, David Brown, who were producers of the film, Ron and Valerie Taylor, who did some of the live shark footage that was used in the film. And some of these interviews, especially the ones with Roy Scheider and Peter Benchley, are actually the last interviews they ever did. And the movie is narrated by Roy Scheider. And Roy Scheider, I believe, died in 2008. This movie was completed in 2007. So a couple of the references that they make to things that are still ongoing, like the Universal Studios Jaws attraction, which was dismantled last year or earlier this year. Of course, that's no longer going, but it was when this movie was current. But this is just a really excellent look at not only the making of the film, like I said, but the impact the movie had on not only just movie fans and the public at large, but of course its impact on sharks. It's touched on briefly the fact that this movie made people go out and, you know, kill sharks, unfortunately, and that's something that Peter Benchley spent the latter part of his life combating, is trying to educate people that sharks are necessary for the oceans to remain healthy. But it also talks about the impact that this movie had on movie makers like Robert Rodriguez Kevin Smith, Steven Soderbergh, and Bryan Singer, M. Night Shyamalan. Those people are all interviewed in this film, and they talk about the influence of Jaws on their career and on their decisions to become directors. Even Greg Nicotero is interviewed, and he says that he wanted to be involved with movie special effects making the minute he got out of the theater from seeing Jaws. So the shark is still working. If you are a fan of Jaws and you own a Blu-ray player and you don't have Jaws already, shame on you. But if you need another reason to go out and buy Jaws on Blu-ray as soon as possible, it would be The Shark is Still Working. It's a phenomenal documentary. There was recently a special on the Discovery Channel called How Jaws Changed the World. This is similar, but don't think if you saw that you've seen The Shark is Still Working. They're two completely different productions, and this one is much better than the Discovery special that was on Shark Week. So I'm going to give The Shark is Still Working a rating on its own because it is, or was, a standalone product at one point, and I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And really the only biggest complaint I have about it is the fact that it's not anamorphic on the Blu-ray, and so you have to see it, looking at it in non-anamorphic little slot on the screen type of thing. But you can overlook that. Use the zoom function on your TV, you'll be fine, even though the movie won't look as good as the Jaws transfer, which, let me just touch on briefly. Jaws looks phenomenal on Blu-ray. Many other people have said it. I just have to chip in and throw my 2 cents in. If you own this or the 30th anniversary edition of Jaws on DVD, just stop what you're doing right now. Go out and get this Blu-ray. And if you don't have a Blu-ray player to enjoy the Blu-ray, buy a Blu-ray player and then buy a copy of Jaws. That's all I have to say. That is my highest recommendation. Jaws is definitely a 10 out of 10. The Blu-ray is a 10 out of 10. And The Shark is Still Working is a 9 out of 10. So there you go. That's my review of The Shark is Still Working. And as always, feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And stay tuned for more videos coming at you here on the Media Assault channel on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.